This is Sean Innovative. Just want to give a relatively quick video on the KissOrderFlow Surge retest scalping strategy. Figured I'll just do a full setup of the charts and what basically I'm looking for when doing this trade setup. So over here on the upper left, I have the 15-minute chart, so you can be able to get an idea of market structure and a good idea of a higher time frame. Then we have the 1-minute chart, which is right down here lower, and it gives us an idea of the smaller time frame, which is still a little bit above the 40 range chart, which is what we have right here, 40 range. Typically range charts give the best noise reduction for price action, especially when you're doing order flow. So for utilizing KISS, the range charts work relatively well. So first we'll set up the 40 range chart here. Go right over to data series, make sure tick replay is clicked, 40 range. I typically go for 3 days, but whatever works best for your system and your capabilities. All right, so that's done there. Let the tick replay load. For right now, I have playback mode since it is Sunday evening, and just so we could get a couple of examples here. Go to indicators. We're going to load right down here, KissOrderFlow. Click that on. From here, I always hide zoom in instructions because I zoom out a lot. I want to see what the market's looking like and come back in. For this system, the signals, I will put them to the EMA, considering this is based off the 20 EMA. All right. Color candles, leave that. I'll leave all the regular settings, value area, that's all there. Show imbalances, I'll leave that. And delta, I typically, when I zoom in, I like to see what delta is actually doing and how it's working. Show delta on bar, we don't need that. Absorption, I'm going to leave that off because the system deals primarily just on the surge. Same thing with trap traders, we don't need that, or the bulldoze. Okay, get down to surge bars, we'll click that, so we have surge. And for me, I like to put the show traffic light, and then instead of full traffic light, just have the green light only for myself. But we're going to make sure that this is only on the surge bars. So surge bars, we get the green light. Just gives it a little bit more easy on the visual, especially if you're zoomed out. Price line, don't need that. I utilize actually the standard NinjaTrader price line, which I'll get that going. Show KISS support and resistance. I put that on personally with surge bars, and I bring this down to 1. Typically, I like to know where the support and resistance are on the surge bars because that'll be the value area, and I particularly like value. You'll see it sometimes go right to the value and then get rejected. But for the system, we use the whole bar, and I have another tool for that as well. Okay, as we go down, I of course remove the label so I don't get too much onto my chart as I'm going. Now, for, since I mentioned that before, the price line is right here. Price line, and I leave it all just standard. Okay, and then we need the EMA. I'll just grab I have a custom EMA that I utilize. It's from Price Action Indicators, and it actually just works quite well. And remove the label. It just changes colors with the direction of the market and how's it going, and lets you know a little bit of insight on the market. Okay, so here we are. The market is actually set for 5-5 at 9:30, basically being the open. I typically don't like to trade the first 5 minutes, but that's just personal preference. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this short, but we're already 5 minutes in. I'm going to put the price line onto the 15 and the 1 minute. All right, price line. That's done. It's on the 15 minute. Then I'm going to do price line. Set the indicators on the 1. Now, I do put one other indicator on the 1 minute, but that's just for myself. Just helps me a little bit more in the direction of the really short-term trend, and it's basically an 80 MA. So I also have another custom one here. All right. Okay. Let's do this. Properties. All right. So now that we have this kind of set up, just going to go over the basic strategy, and I'll take it from here and open this up. So the basic strategy is on drawing tools for the rectangle. Typically, here is a rectangle. I use this one here, which is ABH zones. You can actually Google it and find it. I'll see if I could possibly put a link in the description below. And it's a free tool. It works actually rather well. What I do here is I set it up for 1 full bar. There we go. So mine, I have actually the price levels of it set to the right, and I adjusted the colors and the OPEC for everything, so it makes it a little bit lighter. So I don't want it to be too overpowering. But if you see, this extends all the way to the right. Doesn't matter. It'll just continue. So you just do this, and it just keeps going. So that's actually one of the factors I really like about it. And from here, you could just drag it and bring it to whatever zone you're at. Now, showing exactly how the system goes here. If we look, actually we were right here. And this is a perfect example of why I was mentioning about these zones, the value areas. We're here, we're in a zone. We have the surge signal. Here's the triangle. When you zoom out, it turns to an S. We have that line, the green light right there. So as we're sitting here, let me move this over a little bit. All right, so you have the surge signal coming down. We're below the 20 EMA. Price moved away, and then it pulled back in. As it pulled in, it just tapped into the zone, but if you look at the value area, we tapped into the value area. That right there is a good sign. Now, since we already just tapped into there, you can see price is starting to move down, left a little value area up here, but as it was moving down, delta was negative. That right there is a great entry. Now, let's see if I could do this here. So with that here, you enter right at this level here. That gives you your one-to-one risk to reward. Right over there, 50 ticks, 50 ticks. All right. This one's actually a little upside down, but you guys get the gist. Definitely hit target rather quickly, and that shows how the system works there. I'm going to look at this next one right here. We come down, price didn't really pull away, but here we pulled away and pulled back in. This closed down, and we have another from here. Boom, it hit right in the next handle. There was really no pullback. It just went straight for it. So you had one here. Then you had the other one right there. Boom. 2 of them right in a row. Okay. Then let's remove this, remove this. This one here, pull this down. Now, see how far we're pulling away from the EMA? I typically like, personally, to be as close to the EMA as we can for entering trades. The reversion trade into the EMA, that's letting you know that the market's taking a little bit different direction and which way it wants to go. But from here, you see we pulled away. As we pulled in, it just kept going. So it kept going. We have this other zone here that price didn't get to. All right, just right here. Okay, so we had this surge bar down here. We pulled back in. We literally just tapped right into this here. When we tapped into this here, we already blew past this one, but we never, this was an exposed surge section here. So from this one closed down, another target hit. All right. And that's basically how the system goes. That was really 3 good examples. We go to here. You see the EMA is a bit sideways. I usually get a bit of caution when it goes, but if you look, this came down. It pulled away a little bit, pulled back. We got here, negative delta, and of course, another target. 1 to 1, 50 ticks. It just goes. Now, this one here, pulled away. It hit here. And again. So, if you work the system really does work. And this is after hours. All right. Now, what I do want to see is here, we're looking at 6:50 in the morning. That's right around here. We're coming up to an area here. If you look on the 1 minute, a little bit of a support and resistance area. 6:50 is right here. There's a little bit of a resistance area right here on top. And if you look on the 15 minute, this level here at 218 or 220, because I like to deal with whole numbers pretty much, at 220, you could see price came down, bounced up, and had a little bit of support here. Broke down underneath, support turned to resistance. So it's just something you keep in mind. It's just basic market structure and support and resistance as you're going. If we're looking on the 1 minute, you can see price kept coming right up to this level, right up to this level. All right, so it's just something to keep definitely in mind while you're going through, because you typically don't want to be going into a resistance. You know, just basic trading. You don't want to go into a support. You want to make sure you have room for the trade to play out. Okay. We're looking at these other trades. We came down through it, and then we came up here, and you can see we were just going right up and down around the EMA. That bit of congestion gets to be a little tricky. Now these are all going up, but meanwhile my EMA is letting me know that we're more bearish. But either case, if we were to take these here, it pulled down, we got up to this here. This hardly broke above. All right, but let's see. So we had this here, we came down. This pulled up to here. That one never hit. All right, we didn't lose here yet. So we didn't lose until we were over here in this trade. So we're out of this whole scenario here. Okay. So 1 loss, 3 wins, 75%. Now, You have this one here. We pull up, we pull, and we pull up, right up into the zone. We pulled away, pulled in, EMA sloping down. It literally just, yeah. So that one just looks like it hit. Very close. Very close. So you might have gotten filled, you might not have gotten filled. Hard to say on that one. But you can see how it's just working. Going back and forth all the way through. Alright. Want to do a little bit of live market so you guys get to see what that's like. We're at the open here. This came down, came up, but a few minutes right before the open. So you have that bit of chop that usually happens within a few minutes beforehand. Alright, we'll leave this as it is. We see where we are. We're coming back up into that area there. And let's just play this. Okay. See if I can speed it up because I don't like to do the first 5 minutes. More let it get the morning motivation, morning fluctuation out of the way. Okay. Let's see. All right. But still, we had this surge here. Price pulled down, pulled it here. You already got another target. All right. I'm going to pause this here because what they don't have is a chart trader. Let's set this to a 50-50. There we go. I could squeeze this up a bit. Let's see what we got. Now, let's bear with me 1 second here. I'll just tighten this up a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's see if we actually get a signal. Bear down, came in. I got in late. Let's see what happens here. We broke out above this area. There's a little bit of area here. Target hit. All right. Rather easily. Just came right through. We had our surge signal. It tapped right in. We got in. Actually, it was even late. Pulled back a little bit, but kept going. Okay. Let's see what else we get here. All right. Now, I'll pause this because I have this at a 10x, so it's moving kind of quick. Morning on the NQ, let's pull up a little bit more, then see if we can speed it up so we can see what we got. See if we get anything. Nothing yet, no surge signals, no surge signals. Looking at the 1 minute, we're coming down. See if we get any resistance here. Nice and balanced, disappeared. See if we get one more for an example here. Watching this here, 90 area, so there's plenty of room there. 53, okay, hold on, we got to search. Oh, nope, the signal disappeared. So, it wasn't complete. Okay, so right here, we are at this bar right here. Price is pulling back up out of it. This bar closes, we take it at the top. So I'm going to bring the speed down and let's go. See what we get. All right. We came into the area. We popped up above. All right. We got in because we had the surge bar. It pulled away, pulled down, came back in. And another one. All right. So with that being said, I went through the setup of how it is, gave you an understanding of clearly where it goes. This one, we literally grabbed all the liquidation from underneath it, from this area, and then popped right out. So we basically even came like a little range, pulled out, pulled back in. After surging out of it, came back in, buyers stepped back in and pulled it away. All right, same thing with here. We had a bit of a range, had a surge, it pulled out, pulled back in, we got in, and the buyers just, look, you can see, imbalance, buying imbalance, buying imbalance. The buyers stepped right in and took it away. Okay, and that should do it for this simple strategy. All right, hope that was informative. I'm going to have a link down below for anyone who doesn't have Kiss for a little bit of a discount on it. And if anyone else is looking for anything else that I have here, feel free to leave a comment. And I'm going to, if you'd like, subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with more videos starting this week on different systems that I utilize with KissOrderFlow and just some of the ways that I trade. So hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. All right.